hope I get it. I hope I get it. How many people do they need? I hope I get it. How many boys, how many girls? Look at all the people. All the people. How many people do they need? How many boys, how many girls? How many people do they? I really need this job. Please God, I need this job. I've got to get this job. Well, as you may have heard, I did not happen to make the cut for the Channel Awesome Talent Search, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and I'm willing to accept this with quiet dignity and grace.
Dooby dooby doom. 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 Dooby dooby doom.
Skibbity flooby flop.
Dooby dooby doom. Dooby dooby doom. Dooby dooby doom. Dooby dooby doom.
How to get burned! How to get burned!
Dooby dooby doom. Dooby dooby doom. Dooby 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 doom.
Dooby dooby doo.
Oh,
Dooby dooby doo.
why, Lisa, why?
Dooby dooby doo.
Why are you so heavy to pull off?
Dooby dooby doo. Dooby dooby doo.
This gun doesn't work!
Dooby
You know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, X, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z! Oh, baby, you got what I need! Oh, you say he just a friend. Well, you say he just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. Well, you say he just a friend. Well, you say he just a friend. Join Ninja the Mission Force. Join the Cinema Snob movie as autographed by Brad Jones. And that's all I had.
Quiet dignity and grace.
Well, I've taken the time to calm down, and I should just accept that I shall have to continue here on YouTube and dodge the slings and arrows of frivolous copyright claims, but really, I should be able to move on from not being picked up and getting to join a really awesome group of people, because in this fandom we're all really connected and nothing can ever...
Hey, film reviewer Schulz, congratulations on being picked up by Channel Awesome.
Okay, sorry again. Hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. Well, anyway, once again, it's time to look back at the best of the Nostalgia Critic, and today we're going back to 2013. You know, before he was rejecting people from joining his site. Sorry, won't happen again. Yes, 2013 saw the return of the Nostalgia Critic, after Doug had ended the show and tried a new series with Demo Reel, although that series was ended prematurely after failing to connect with the masses, although it does still have its fans. The Critic came back in an excellent half-hour special, The Review Must Go On. After that, the show returned with a review of The Odd Life of Timothy Green, and started a new schedule where regular reviews came out every other week, with a shorter editorial episode in the week between. I, along with many, feel that the show has definitely improved with his rebirth. Using the studio space gives a lot more room to show off more production value. Working in the various storylines and sketches provide much more humor, as well as character moments. Malcolm and Rachel get to show off even more of their comedic skills in their various character roles, as well as more appearances by Rob and Jim. And by getting rid of the cutoff date, Doug has allowed himself the chance to review even more material than ever before. So, in addition to the top 11 best episodes and jokes, I will now have to include a top 11 editorials for each year. So hopefully I will still be able to get these videos done concisely. Now, of course, I'd normally be dressed as the Nostalgia Critic to do this, but I kind of destroyed my outfit in my violent rampage. Whoops. Number 11. His editorial on whether The Big Lebowski is a masterpiece. Now, of course, the good thing about these editorials is they allow Doug to further analyze something. Even though he's supposed to be the Nostalgia Critic, it more than often usually just feels like Doug himself expressing his own thoughts. And this is a really good case of that, where, he analyzes what makes The Big Lebowski funny, why it's considered a masterpiece, and really the reasons behind why the film works, and why it would get such a high status.
That morning White Russian's always the best.
Number 10. How come Super Mario Brother comics don't suck? Now, this is an interesting one. I'd never even heard of these Super Mario comics before Doug even did the review, so it was interesting to see him analyze the Super Mario Brothers working in this new media and being one of the better uses of them outside of the original video games, certainly compared to many of the other sources that he's looked at already.
Insert audio clip from that here.
Number 9. Is Twilight the worst thing ever?
Of course it is! It's the worst cinematic burden no one should ever have to...
Now, of course, as many modern film goers, this was already quite a question that I'm sure passed through most people's minds, and seeing Doug, kind of analyze why something could be considered so terrible, or whether something can really be the worst thing ever in genre, is really interesting, and of course a very good start to the editorials in general with this very first one. Number 8. What's with all the princess hate? Now here, it's nice to see Doug kind of analyze this sort of stereotype of culture in general with the princess figure, sort of analyzing why and how it can be good or bad, and why people may not see it as a negative thing more than a positive thing.
Even I've had my rants on the overuse of it in media.
You're not really a princess. You just took the title because it sounds cute.
Number 7. Was Batman Season 4 hit or miss? Now, already Doug, of course, has already talked quite a great deal about Batman the Animated Series, and it certainly piqued the interest of many other viewers, I'm sure, myself included. I really do need to get to see these. And seeing him analyze, the different changes that came in the 4th season of the show, and the different storylines or so, and whether it worked or not is, of course, always interesting to hear.
I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember it? Because I'm Batman. I love this mask!
Number 6. Editorial on the Looney Tunes show. Now, of course, this series has really been the subject of controversy amongst fans, so it's certainly nice to see, a Looney Tunes fan like Doug sort of analyze the pros and cons of the series and whether it works or what doesn't, and it gives sort of just a general overview on the whole thing. Number 5, his editorial on superheroes, which I'm not going to say the full title of.
Are superheroes just whiny bitches?
Now, of course, so many recent superheroes, it's to see Doug kind of analyze the sort of, all of the angst sort of being portrayed in there, and whether it works or not to the respective characters.
I'm a Nostalgia Critic, and I can't wait for another Andrew Garfield movie.
Number 4 is Parody Dead. Again, this is a really relevant topic, as so many recent parody films have come out that just completely missed the mark. So it was great to see Doug analyzing how and why older parody films work, and this sort of thing that goes into making one, and and also showing the good internet parodies that you can find nowadays. Number 3, the top 12 best Santas. Now, of course, Doug's top 11 lists are always good to see, and so it's just nice to see him, going into how and why different portrayals of Santa work the best, even a few, even if the movie in general he didn't think particularly worked.
Yeah, so as many of you know, I'm not really a Rankin Bass fan. Not that I can back this up as a good movie. I can't. It's pretty stupid. A lot of people have mixed feelings about this remake, and I'd be lying if I said I kinda did too. Now, of course, I've made fun of this movie before in my review of it, and I still stand by it's a pretty goofy flick.
I don't care! I don't care! I don't care if this movie is stupid! I don't care if it's completely goofy and idiotic! This has the best Santa Claus ever!
But the portrayal of Santa was still good, so that's just very interesting. And of course, a very interesting mix of different performances in this list.
How's that song go again, you creepy mailman with slits on the side of his mouth?
Santa Claus is coming to town.
You wanna know? Look at these scars.
Number 2, has CGI gone too far? Again, something a lot of people are thinking, with the excess of CGI that we have nowadays, whether we're using too much of it. And Doug is a really good analysis of how and when CGI works the best, and how it's best used and when it should best be used in a film. And the number 1 best editorial is it right to nitpick? Really, this one in a nutshell just kind of encapsulates the entire internet reviewing community, really, because they're just accused of nitpicking and stuff. Doug analyzing when does a movie make you focus on the little details, because the film in general might not be working, or whether some films can get away with gaping plot holes because the rest of it outweighs that, so you're not thinking of that kind of thing. And he just was a really great summation of just reviewing in general. So now, before we go into the top 11 best episodes, here are the honorable mentions, the runners-up, the reviews that didn't quite make the cut. Like certain people in talent searches. Sorry. Well, at least I didn't go over the edge that time.
Hey, film reviewer Schulz. Hunter here from ForceViewing.com. Congratulations on getting picked up by Channel Awesome. That's awesome.
Number 11, The King and I. Now, this review, after many of the ones that had already come before it in 2013, was sort of a more back-to-basics approach. Of course, there were still a few sketches here and there, but mostly it was, just Doug himself analyzing this ridiculous animated film, and one I'm sure the fans have been waiting on. I mean, even I think Doug said at a convention, before he had brought Nostalgia Critic back, he said, he might bring Nostalgia Critic back just to review this one and comparing it to the original musical and just how it veers totally off and just the various silliness that this film provided.
But it's a lie.
A false lie.
Doesn't that technically make it truth?
Number 10. The worst Christmas special. You know, we've been building this one up since the start of December, and it did not disappoint. This sort of, just the low quality of animation, this nonsensical story, and the voice acting.
I'm glad those poor little things aren't going to have to spend another winter in patches and rags. By the way, where's Judy? Oh, Mrs. Kindle.
And all this sort of ridiculous, this sort of the room level sort of animated special is just a hilarious way to close out the review. And also led to a surprisingly and, a bit rather uncharacteristically heartwarming sort of ending, but it all came together very fine to close out the year.
Until the mountains may fall and the hills turn to dust! Okay, take the camera. Okay, here.
Number 9. AI. Now, overall, this was a pretty entertaining review, but so the reason why I put it so lower on the list, it was sort of like two very different things that didn't really have that much together, and Doug kind of had a reason in there, but overall, I mean, they felt like two separate things. Both entertaining, but not that connected. I mean, we have the review of this sort of collaboration of Stanley Kubrick and Steven Spielberg sort of meshing together in the film, and then of course the framing thing, you have the Damn They parody, which of course only came about because of the nonsensical asking to take down the rant that happened in the top 11 South Park episodes review. But then again, overall, there's lots of the weird division of the darker Kubrick thing and the lighter Spielberg thing in the one movie, and then of course, I mean, everyone on the Damn They staff and pairing just, I mean, geez. Just speaking personally, I barely even watch a minute of that show. Just flipping through on TV and just, parodying this lowest common denominator, this desperate, clinging, stalking news that just and then just emphasizing points in the most unfunny, obnoxious, loud voice possible. And oh gosh, that hurt my voice. Sorry. And just, but apparently the fact they can't even take a rant from someone online themselves, it just, it's overall just a very odd combination of two very different things, but still overall worked together.
Tiempe! Your life would be nothing without us!
Number 8. Son of the Mask. And just, wow, I mean, one of those kind of films that just, oh my gosh, what were they thinking? And even though Mike J had already covered it and so with stuff, but just seeing Doug taking on, and of course the introduction of some great characters with Malcolm as the devil and Rachel as Evelina. Oh yeah, this was also the introduction of a family picture running gag.
Come see Son of the Mask, a family picture.
All this is just, it's this bizarre, unintentionally scary kind of film, and just, oh my gosh, what were they thinking? And Doug giving a great review on just stuff that, what do you make of all this? I mean, wow. Number 7, The Last Airbender. Of course, with all the build up and Doug and Rob, doing the vlogs on the original Avatar series, and then it's all leading up to this ridiculous adaptation of, I mean, I haven't even seen the original Avatar show, but just, watching Doug's vlogs, I certainly am interested, but just watching this ridiculous attempt at bringing it to the screen and, parodying it in the review, and just all sorts of stuff, you know. And of course, I mean, the whole reason Doug watched the show is just so he could be properly annoyed at how inaccurate this film got it, and it certainly was well worth the wait. Number 6, Man of Steel. You know, I mean, Doug already brought it up in his superheroes editorial, and then just this was another one that was well worth the wait as well. Just now, of course, I still have not seen Man of Steel, so I don't have any opinion on it as well. But just this was a really good one. Just, you know, having the two different viewpoints arguing over the film. You know, Doug negative, and then Angry Joe in a positive. You know, Doug having this sort of counterpoint to each one was really good, and it really made it, you know, it's a very different kind of Nostalgia Critic review. You don't really see. And, of course, the return of Zod is always great to see Doug do that, and the opening musical video with the introduction of Rob Scallon on the show, always a great new occasional guest star, and the ending, and it all just came together just greatly, sort of epic kind of thing.
Can't we all just hate Superman 4?
Number 5, Devil. Well, this was just a great setup for an episode to, you know, be parodying the film that's being reviewed, and, you know, bringing these, you know, funny recurring characters and having them together with Doug in this elevator space, and then just seeing all this ridiculous stuff and all this sort of Shyamalan-inspired kind of attempt at mystery and stuff. And then, of course, the review actually having a better twist than the actual movie, and all sorts of... It's always great. Doug, Rob, Malcolm, and Rachel playing off each other. And just the film itself just being so ridiculous was just sort of a great combination, and everybody loves Cthulhu.
Don't make me poke you full of holes!
Number 4, The Shining miniseries. Again, another high point for Nostalgia-ween, and with a great new opening, thanks to Jim. And this was just another case of parodying the film being reviewed, or, well, rather, in this case, you know, parodying the film version of The Shining, while reviewing Doug found to be the less than good sort of mini-series adaptation that where Stephen King made because he didn't like the Kubrick-directed film, and I mean, many people said that Doug's performance in this review, even though, you know, it's parodying Jack Nicholson, you know, it's really effective, and it's surprisingly intense and rather creepy in his own right. And seeing all this stuff that the miniseries does to try and be scary, and then not, well, either in some cases it's not that good special effects, but then just other times this is what seemingly nonsensical kind of stuff happening, and again, Malcolm and Rachel, very good just to bring it themselves with it. Oh, and also the pumpkin flavor running gag that started, and I love the gag near the end with Malcolm trying to avoid being killed in a horror movie that some may find more offensive or other, but now personally that just sort of seemed like, actually that seems almost like a gag taken out of like one of the Wayans brothers scary movies or something, other sort of horror parody that is just really kind of original and good, and overall just a really good homage to this, you know, other film while taking on the remake of it.
Oh, this would be rather unbelievable if we were to see this visually, but nah.
Number 3, Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Now, this one, I mean, Doug went all out in doing the Power Rangers homages, doing the stuff with, having Rachel as Rita and Malcolm as Zordon, all really funny performances, and of course the surprise appearance by the resident Power Rangers guy on the site, and Doug in the Nostalgia Critic Power Rangers outfit and all this, and doing this while also just talking about this sort of this ridiculousness of this film with, eggs just coming right and left and all this sort of thing, and it's sort of in all mocking these Power Rangers style while acknowledging the silliness of it all. It's just a really good combination for this episode. Number 2, The Cat in the Hat. Oh boy, well, of course after the Grinch, it was just sort of inevitable he'd get to the other Dr. Seuss films, and oh boy, and especially because, I mean, I saw this movie as a kid, and I actually enjoyed it. Oh boy, I'm still embarrassed to say that, so just, seeing Doug come in to review this is certainly fitting, and of course, bringing back Evelina and the Devil is a good return, and also in Orlando is Peter Solis, and I mean, just, the jokes practically write themselves about just this film, and gosh, and of course, this was the beginning of Analyst 1 and Analyst 2, and, well, the chart says, great job by Rob and Malcolm there, and just, overall, this Doug, point out why this sort of thing doesn't work. I mean, adapting this short story to a full-length film and then adding all this adult humor into it, and just overall a really good review of a film that it definitely deserved the Nostalgia Critic treatment.
But the chart says...
And the number 1 best Nostalgia Critic episode of 2013, Les Miserables. Oh, wow, I mean, after Moulin Rouge, which Doug considers his best review, I mean, how can you do another musical review, after that? And then they just sort of somehow are even able to top it in this one with, even more people, even more songs coming in, and still just reviewing this film adaptation of, which overall Doug just thought it was okay. I mean, he did have problems with it, but he was able, having Doug be okay, Paul liking it, and Kyle not liking it, again, having different viewpoints here, and then, all the, song parodies that they did, and the different people who got to sing, and the recurring Brentalfloss thing, which is hilarious get up and voice, and all that, and then all the cameos, the Todd, and Nella, Linkara, Sci-Fi Guy, a couple silent ones, also Nash, and in the background, Kitty Marie, all this, and then, Paul and Elisa singing their duet, which is just funny and also really touching, since they've been engaged, and Kyle's solo, and then Linkara singing about not being able to sing in here, and then just all over, it just, and now Malcolm and Rachel is Helena Bonham Carter and Sacha Baron Cohen and their duet, and all this, just all this just coming together and making another great musical epic review. It's just overall just a great job by everyone putting this together.
One big song.
And so now we come to the top 11 best jokes of 2013. Now, it's been increasingly difficult to try and pick out jokes in the reviews, so as the reviews and sketches have gotten longer, so that jokes might not just be one single joke anymore, but a running gag or a whole sketch from a review. So here are my choices. Number 11. Now, is from the Son of the Mask review. This was just a really funny cameo, especially since the reviewer in question doesn't always post that often on the site. It's nice to see him pop in here for just a funny little bit.
Fluttershy's the cutest.
Oh, how original. No, it's clearly Rainbow Dash.
Get out of there. Where do you find these people?
Is that your dad? Tell him I blame him for that shitty abomination of a third season.
Dad, CR blames you for the entire third...
Number 10. Now, this is just one of those instances where Doug just inserts a clip and you're not even sure if it's actually from the movie or not. Actually, I think he said in the commentary this is from Darkman, so this was just a very funny, unexpected little bit from the Shining review.
Goodbye, Daddy.
Number 9. From the Christmas Tree, the worst Christmas special ever review. This is just a very funny little bit on the peculiarity of the special's mayor and his monetary spending.
Here you go, Mrs. Mavilda. Here's the 2 bags.
My God, he didn't even give the amount. He just said 2 bags. I don't even think he measures the money in terms of numbers. I think he literally measures it in bag size.
Mr. Mayor, this check says it's for 2 money bags.
That's right, 2 whole money bags.
Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna need an exact amount in order to accept.
I use money bags!
Okay, we'll take the money bags.
Very good. Now, if you'll excuse me, my ride is waiting for me.
Number 8. From the AI review, this was just a very odd, basically sort of cameo in the film. Just a very odd reaction to this oddity, and this is very amusing dubbing in and editing around to this scene from a classic film. This is just very good for a laugh.
Maybe Stanley Kubrick was a big Chris Rock fan. I mean, who knows? Maybe he could have used him in other films if he was around back then.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
No!
Open the doors.
No!
What's the problem?
Crack-a-lacka, you got to go!
What are you talking about, Hal?
I gotta get this part right, or I'm gonna have nothing but shitty movies for the rest of my life!
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore.
No, I don't think you understand. You got to go!
Hal?
No!
Hal!
No!
Hal!
No!
I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
What do you want, a cookie?
Number 7. From Turbo, Power Rangers movie review. This was just one of the best instances of parodying the Power Rangers style while also getting the review in as well.
Do you think this movie will make any possible sense whatsoever? No! Your movie is so cliche they can't even put it into words! I mean, the acting, it's horrid, and the writing, it's a joke! How could anybody watch this piece of crap and actually expect to like it? I asked you! What is the point of you keeping the Power Rangers out of their costumes for so long? Do you honestly think anyone cares about what kind of metrosexual necklace Tommy is wearing? They don't even wear the costumes during the fight scenes, when they could actually use them! And for that matter, the fight scene is not even that impressive. Half the monsters are defeated off-screen! And even the ones who aren't? Look at that! They actually have to help them off the ship! That's lame! And what is up with this line?
This show ain't the Love Boat.
Do you think anyone in your age demographic would possibly get that? Was it supposed to be a joke for adults? You know they're already on the 8th level of Angry Birds by this point! They tuned out a while ago!
Number 6. From the Les Miserables review, it's just a great sort of running gag of interrupting Linkara's song by Sci-Fi Guy.
I dreamed of
I was grabbing my iPod.
I'm not trying to do a one-take
You're doing like a...
here. This movie.
Sorry, I just kind of forgot my iPod.
I dreamt I'd be in the seas. I dreamt the thing. I dream
life has strung me up. I dream.
Here's your hat.
Get in the corner! Sorry, all right?
And then, again later in the review,
Maybe I'll be in this bar when Kara can't be in this bar. Seriously? I will end you!
number 5. From The Last Airbender, this was just a fast-paced, funny, and a very catchy way of getting the audience up to speed on the whole series.
Just because I know about it doesn't mean the people at home know about it. How are we gonna catch them up to speed?
Katara, Guitara.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Go to this part if you haven't seen the show yet. Oh! 4 nations exist called Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water. Till fire decided things should get hotter. Invasions aren't nice, but then to break the ice and the Avatar rose to make them pay the price.
Katara and Sokka help him to keep in the know, flying what looks like a white neighbor Totoro, chased by their foe, a young Prince named Zuko. Don't ask him about a Scar or Rufio.
The Avatar masters the elements flawlessly, toughest of toss turns a blind eye so cautiously. Avatar state opens at a great rate, but Azula serves his arrowed ass on a plate.
Katara revises him, and they sing their love song, but Zuko decides to see no shit's gone too long, he switches sides.
At the turn of the tide.
And now Aang is on fire with his smoking guide.
Katara and Zuko beat Azula on the cup, mostly because she is
Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs.
Aang's feeling ill because he don't want to kill, but the cowardly lion turtle says hold still.
He's given the gift to depower the Fire Lord nation, says whatever. Zuko can lead the horde, go and live happily in the world that is free. Just remember that it's thanks to Baldy.
So that is the show, and it's good that you know because it is the best. It's good cartoons just go, and so now that you heard, go ahead, spread the word that the best Avatar ain't that blue pussy turd. Now on with the review.
Number 4. From the 4th commercial special, the dawn of the commercials, this was the accumulation at the end of a running gag throughout the review, and just very funny performance from Rachel, and just combined with a great and unexpected guest appearance.
It's hot in here, and I like you very much, lover boy.
Whoa, I mean the candles, the music, the sexy dress. What's going on here?
Don't you like me? I'm your girl.
What are you doing this for?
I want you.
What do you mean?
I want your body.
Don't follow.
I want to have sex with you.
Totally lost.
Listen here, you bizarre man who has a picture of a spoon on his wall for some reason. I want your balls!
Oh, now I get it. Nice catch. Let's see your spiral. Ooh, not bad. Here's my underarm spiral. This is so much fun. Hey, this is sexual harassment, and I don't need to take it.
What just happened?
Number 3. Now, from the Devil review, just already this debate about this ridiculous aspect of the film is funny enough. Just seeing it from the film and then trying to make sense of it, and then the accumulation of this little sketch here, which was just a great bit that just felt like it could have come out of an old Zucker Brothers comedy.
Is this a tested method? One that's really valuable? Is this the method the Vatican uses? Do religious leaders all come together to test the devil's arrival with pastry goods?
So in conclusion to our weekly Kitchen of Demonic testing research, we have discovered that the cream in the coffee has swirled in the right direction, the chocolate icing on the donut was equally distributed, and the mustard in the ham sandwich on rye did not drip all the way to the floor. All that remains, of course, is our beloved toast test. And seeing how we've been doing this for 180 years and not once has it ever landed on the wrong side, I think we can all get ready to go while I perform this last one.
Jesus, guys!
fucking ridiculous.
Number 2. Again, from the AI review, just, the whole damn they bit, even though it really wasn't connected that much to the film at hand in any way, but just, all the parodies of this just desperate pandering to the lowest common denominator, just clinging, stalking need for attention, just this sort of all over lowest common denominator sort of feeling to all this sort of celebrity tabloid journalism. Just sort of, this is just sort of I feel just one of the best sort of representations of this just desperate kind of media.
All right, guys, because we have so many important topics to get out there, I thought it'd be best if we select our stories a little faster. So I'm going to hold up a picture of a celebrity, and if I think we should do a story on it, then let out a collective grunt. And if you don't think we should do a story on a celebrity, then just shake your head no.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we'll be able to get through more stories this way.
All right. Now that's what thought-provoking news is all about, right, guys?
And the number 1 best joke, again from one of the commercials, even though it had like these 2 great kind of appearances, I still thought overall the episode was just sort of okay, but this just Doug writing up this, and in other hands this might have come off as incredibly dark and morbid, and yet somehow as Rachel's performance manages to elevate it into hilarity. I even messaged her on Facebook, it takes a great actress to make addiction, suicide, and homelessness hilarious in this bit.
You may think I'm a shrimp now, big brother, but I'm drinking milk. Which means I'll grow long hair, beautiful skin, and become totally self-absorbed, meaning I won't need to think for myself. And instead marry a wealthy millionaire who only wants me for my body. And then I'll feel this emptiness inside that only the miracle of cocaine can cure. But that's not enough, so then I'll turn to heroin for an even greater high. And then I won't know what's real anymore, and I'll wonder where my life went wrong. And then I'll be so jacked up on highballs that I'll try to kill myself in my maid's closet. But then I'll discover rehab and realize it was all part of God's plan. But then I'll relapse and fall right down the slippery slope again. Oh, Jesus, brother, help me! And then I'll die cold and alone with my only friend, the glass of milk that started it all.
Milk? What the fuck?
Hey, this is my spot!
Well, there you have it. The best of the Nostalgia Critic from 2013. Well, I may not have gotten to join Channel Awesome, but I still shall remain to support their amazing content. And, they've gotten a bunch of great, I'm sure wonderful people to join the new site, so we should all look out and watch their work as well, because, you never know when...
Hey, Professor Schulz, I just wanted to congratulate you on getting into Channel Awesome. I know that you're going to do very well there. Hurts. Yay!
Dooby dooby doom. 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 Dooby 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 doom.